Today we're going to talk about what I believe is the real reason why Trump wants the Panama Canal and Greenland. Now, Greenland is a land of ice and a lot of untapped resources. And the Panama Canal is the gateway to connecting oceans. We built it. A lot of our people died there, but it's a gateway to the connecting oceans. So why is Trump showing so much interest in basically two unrelated locations? Today I'm going to uncover what I believe the reason is why Trump wants these two so badly. But first, let's watch what Trump said in the press conference the other day.
Mr. President, thank you. Wanted to touch on the world on fire that you mentioned, but let's start, if we could, with your references to Greenland and the Panama Canal, so forth. Can you assure the world that as you try to get control of these areas, you are not going to use military or economic coercion?
No.
And can you tell us a little bit about what your plan is? Are you going to negotiate a new treaty? Are you going to ask the Canadians to hold a vote? What is the strategy?
Yeah. I can't assure you, you're talking about Panama and Greenland. No, I can't assure you on either of those two. But I can say this, we need them for economic security. The Panama Canal was built for our military. I'm not going to commit to that now. It might be that you'll have to do something. Look, the Panama Canal is vital to our country. It's being operated by China. China. And we gave the Panama Canal to Panama. We didn't give it to China. And they've abused it. They've abused that gift. It should have never been made, by the way. Giving the Panama Canal is why Jimmy Carter lost the election, in my opinion, more so maybe than the hostages. The hostages were a big deal.
Now, first we need to understand that Trump is a genius. He's always been a master strategist, and he knows how to exploit somebody else's weakness. I watched a clip from Barbara Corcoran. She's one of the judges on Shark Tank. And this is what she said about Trump. Watch below.
Switching gears for a moment, you knew Donald Trump way back in his New York real estate days.
What a charmer.
And, despite, whatever you say about him, even you say he's a great salesman. What is his sales technique? Why is he so great?
He is a phenomenal salesman. He's not a great salesman. He's probably the best salesman I've ever been in the company of. And I spent a lot of time with Donald because he's 5 years older than me, I think 4 years, and he was raising his company right parallel with me raising mine. And so I did a lot of work with Donald. And I can tell you, he is the best salesman I've ever met in my life. I watched him walk into a situation, for example, selling the Plaza Hotel to the Chinese out of Hong Kong, it was in Taiwan, group of Asians, wealthiest families in Hong Kong. And they were there because they were interested in the Plaza Hotel. And I was the broker, or my brokers, we were all at the table, and we were like really hungry to make this deal. And I watched him totally not pitch the Plaza Hotel, bury it, and talk about the land masses on the Hudson River and the buildings that would be there. They were not the least bit interested. They just wanted to buy the Plaza Hotel. Like a customer, I want to buy it, and Donald was near bankruptcy, really needed the money to bail out. And I watched him. I thought he was so off. He wasn't. They bought the land and built all those towers on the West River as we know it today. All those Trump towers along the river. That was the deal. How did he do that? I'll tell you what his masterful mind does. He is a genius at picking out the vulnerability of someone's personality. He can smell it, sense it, and trust it. Okay? So, for example, if you were to walk into a business meeting with Donald and you're saying whatever you're saying, I've seen it time and time again, he could see what your weakness is and not physically reach over and put his finger on it. But he just could see what your weakness is and play into it. Not the nicest thing in the world, but it's a certain gift I've never seen anyone else.
Now, he didn't just sell a property, he sold a vision. And that's exactly what we see with Greenland and the Panama Canal. So why Greenland? His interest in this icy expanse has been ridiculed by many people. But is it really that outlandish? I mean, Greenland is a treasure trove of natural resources, minerals, rare earth material, oil, and gas. More importantly, it's a geopolitical gold mine. It's situated between North America and Europe, and it's critical to the Arctic stronghold. So strategically, militarily, it's It's located in a pretty good spot. So by controlling Greenland, the U.S. would dominate the Arctic, and that would counter Russia and China's growing ambition in the region. But realistically, we already have military there. So, I mean, we have access to that already without having to buy it. So maybe there's something else. I'm thinking there is. So what about the Panama Canal? So the Panama Canal is one of the most vital trade routes in the world. China heavily relies on the Panama Canal to ship goods to the U.S. and to Europe. China needs it bad. Here's the catch. If the U.S. controlled the Panama Canal, it could choke out China's trade in a moment's notice. Now, I'm not speculating on this. If we own the canal, we could take China down just like that on shipping. Now, obviously, the U.S. has a history of using economic pressure to get what we want out of countries. And if we own the Panama Canal, we have a lot of leverage. But is that what Trump's wanting? I think if he can get it, then he wants it. But I think there's a bigger picture in play here. And I think this is the reason why Trump did not rule out using military force if he needs to in Greenland and the Panama Canal. And this is the reason I believe. Now, I could be completely wrong. Please leave in the comments if you think I'm wrong, completely wrong, or not even close, or maybe sounds like a legitimate idea. Leave it in the comments. And go ahead and hit like and subscribe while we're here so you don't forget. But this is the reason I believe Trump is putting the threat on Greenland and the Panama Canal. Remember, Trump's a master negotiator. Probably the best the world has ever seen. So this is where it gets interesting in my thoughts. Why Greenland? Why the Panama Canal? The answer to me is Taiwan. Trump hates war. He doesn't want a war. He knows if we have to go into Taiwan or if China goes into Taiwan, we may have to go help them. Trump is going to use the Panama Canal and Greenland to say, you invade Taiwan, I'm going in Greenland and I'm going in the Panama Canal and I'll shut you down. I believe that's what Trump's doing. I believe that's the reason he wants Greenland, and I believe that's the reason he wants the Panama Canal. I could be completely wrong. But Trump thinks way further ahead than anybody else. Trump could deny China access to vital resources and a trade route that goes around the world. It's not about geography. It's not about putting the next Trump hotel in Greenland. It's about power and helping the United States of America. I don't think Trump's interest in Greenland and in the Panama Canal is an accident. I think it's a message to China. And that message is, if you go into Taiwan, we will control the Arctic and we will control the Americas. There'll be no route through the Panama Canal. And that's the reason he never ruled out using force in Panama and Greenland. It's about Taiwan. I believe it's about Taiwan. It's about leverage, control, and protecting the U.S.'s position on the global stage. We have all the leverage. So I think that's the real reason. Greenland's not just about ice and an island, and Panama is not just a trade route. It's leverage. I think together, those two together form the backbone of Trump's strategy to protect Taiwan. Now, he might have to take the Panama Canal. And if he does, there's no way China can go into Taiwan because we could cripple them financially. So what do you think? Is Trump playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers again? Is he 3 steps ahead of everybody? While they're over talking about, oh, he's going to use military force in the Panama Canal. He's protecting Taiwan. Is that what's going on? Or does he want to build his next Trump Tower in Greenland? Let me know in the comments. What do you think? If you like the content, hit subscribe, like, and click on one of these two videos if you want to see more.